This is Anime Out of Context, a comedy review podcast hosted by a weeb of the highest order, alongside a cynical man who knows nothing about anime. Our show features spoilers, explicit language, and poor fact-checking. Neither of our hosts are experts on any topic, and none of their opinions should be taken as fact. Thank you for listening, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Anime Out of Context, the show where I attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime.
And I bemoan yet another year circling around on this depressing ball of dirt.
I'm Sean Rollins.
I'm Remington Chase.
That's right, Remington. You are a year older now. Your birthday just passed.
Yeah, celebratory kazoo sounds. Yay.
Yes, for your birthday, you got Dylan to do more work. Good work.
So you know, most friends I imagine, like to celebrate their friend's birthday, wouldn't be an asshole. However, I have my doubts on this podcast. So normally it'd be like, oh, maybe we're gonna break what feels like has been an endless streak of god-awful bullshit on the podcast. Because, boy, at least for me, for Remington, we're in a slump. The quality of the episodes, those have been great. But, like, the quality of my well-being, not too hot, I'll be honest. So most would anticipate, oh, what a great time to break the streak. I'm not getting my hopes up.
I mean, Rem, why would I ever do anything mean or nasty or vindictive on somebody's birthday?
I feel like you are trying to imply something, Sean. Perhaps trying to throw shade to a certain birthday gift that you got, that our listeners can check out on our Twitter or our Patreon. But I don't know what you're talking about, because as far as I know, you only got high quality gifts for your birthday. So surely that can't be what you're passive-aggressively referencing.
No. Why would it be? I mean, surely one of the only gifts I got for my birthday from one of my best friends in the whole world would have been something that would have genuinely made me happy and ecstatic to hang around, you know?
And you love D&D. I got you a high-quality D&D commission of you as a wizard.
That's not quite what you got me, Rem.
I feel like that's an accurate description. I mean,
No, you're leaving a couple details out.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess I said to class, I left out the race, which, I mean, I just wanted to join your two passions, so... Yeah,
well...
it may or may not have been a Sean Wizard minion, but... Which I thought you'd love. The quality, the shading, and the coloration. Woo!
Yeah, no, you spent a lot of real-world money on that. You paid a professional artist to make that.
That I did, Sean. Spare no expense for my good friend Sean.
Yeah, no, so why would I ever do anything vindictive on his birthday?
And I suppose the only answer is that obviously you wouldn't, it would be unreasonable, cruel, I think some would say. Downright cruel, unfair.
Yeah, I suppose people could say that, huh? You know, because, Rem, I don't know if you know this, but a birthday is a very special time.
It is, Sean.
It's a year in your life that you've been with us, doing all the things that you do. So, of course, it needs to be honored in a very special and unique way.
Oh, boy. Unique. I don't know. I feel like we had a very unique week last week. I think... I don't think unique celebrations are required at all.
No, Rem. I feel like that we've been together for so long.
Yeah, that's true.
Both on the podcast and outside the podcast. Not romantically.
Yep.
Not currently, at least. But definitely intimately, and close, you know, so I have something very interesting for you today.
Oh, fuck. All right, there's that word. All right, what are we doing this week, Sean? How are we deciding to celebrate?
Well, Remington, as I am such a good friend, we are going to go back to a studio that is very famous, Rem. It's a very famous studio.
All right, so, Okay, so the studios I know, there's Shaft, there's not Shaft, but I always get mixed up with Shaft.
That'd be Madhouse.
Madhouse every fucking time. I just know that I get the two confused. There's the Big Gib, Mr. Gibbles himself, and then there's every other one I don't know.
But Rem, we've covered so many studios that have made you want to cry and jump off the face of the planet.
Yeah, I've tried to repress those largely.
But no, Remington, today we are going to visit a lovely little studio by the name of Kyoto Animation.
Oh, okay, that is another one that I know. Okay, so they tend to do like really emotional, heartfelt stuff.
We are
or at
doing
least...
Kyo Annie today.
Okay, that provides me a little bit of optimism.
And I'll be honest, Rem, it's actually going to be a pretty good one, I think.
Oh, thank God. Oh.
I just kind of had to, pull your leg a little bit, grab you by the balls a second just to make sure you were suffering a little bit. Because unlike certain somebodies, I do believe in giving nice presents on somebody's birthday.
I dislike the implication, but I appreciate nonetheless that we're getting something decent.
So I've decided to go that we're gonna watch a Kyo Annie affair because we get a lot of requests for it, and as well as the fact that if I'm not gonna get revenge directly, if you end up hating the show, then that's all the revenge I'll probably need.
Well, I do recall the last time we did Kyo Annie, a lot of people didn't like my criticisms of it.
Yeah, I mean, you did say you outright hated A Silent Voice, so
I did. Well, okay. I said that its characters and storytellings and relationships lacked a bit of depth, but emotion-wise, it was top tier.
So you hated it. It's fine. It's okay, Ren. You can live up to your opinions. You're a year older now. You're a year wiser. You can accept that you have less than popular opinions.
Year wiser. I'm still doing this shit. So hopefully this one goes a little smoother than that one.
Yeah, I mean, after all, that one was rated like a 9.01 on Now, so it's hard to say. But no, Rem, we're actually doing a very heavily requested one. A lovely little anime called Sound Euphonium, or its proper Japanese name is Hibike Euphonium, because nobody calls it Sound Euphonium because that just sounds weird.
Oh, all right. Our patron, is it Rare Kumiko that?
It is.
Yeah.
Yes, Rare, I'm going to send Hibike Euphonium until it gets reviewed, Kumiko. Congratulations, you can stop that now.
You can stop simping for it. It's happening.
Yeah, and I'm not doing it because of you, Kumiko. That's not why.
Wow. I'm doing it for you, Rare Kumiko.
You didn't know you were doing it until just a minute ago.
And I am continuing on for their sake.
No, I'm doing it because a lot of people asked for it, including Kumiko. But I'm also doing it because it's your birthday, and I figured showing you a very well-received Kyoto Animation affair would be a nice little change of pace from what we've been doing the past month and a half.
God, I need this. I've been broken down so much over the past few weeks. I've been so tilted to unbelievable levels.
Mm-hmm.
What was the last thing besides BoJack fucking Horseman that I properly loved? Let's see. One sec. Let me check.
Let's see. I have the list right here. That would probably be
Corpse Party was trashy, but I enjoyed it.
You had good things to say about ReZero, but it wasn't an outright love. You broke my heart about a lot of things. You really liked Bofuri.
Yeah, you gotta go pretty far back to find things that I really, really enjoyed.
You fucking hated Ponyo.
I didn't despise it. I just thought that it wasn't good at all.
But yeah, no, it's been a bit of a mixed bag there, Remington.
Yeah, for 20 fucking episodes. Oh my God.
I mean, you had good things to say
about
I didn't realize
how far it went back. Yeah, Domestic Girlfriend was the last one that I actually thought was quality, which fucking tells you something.
Yeah, but you're still on that Team Rui squad, though, right?
I mean, obviously.
Yeah, that's gonna get us even more emails. This is gonna be a fun episode.
This episode, it's you're actually being nice, but instead I'm just going to hang myself in this episode with my opinions. After
all, that is the best way to get revenge on somebody, by letting them screw themselves up.
All right, so tell me a little bit about good old Sound Euphonium.
Well, it is your good old-fashioned cute girls doing cute things kind of show.
Oh, okay, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yep. Kyo Annie also did K-On, if you remember correctly, and it's got some.
Oh yeah.
And it's got some similar themes. Whereas K-On is a light music band and only has a small cast of characters. Hibike Euphonium is a is more ensemble focused. There is still a relatively condensed amount of characters, but there are multiple and they get explored throughout different episodes, and there's different relationships and things like that. It leans a bit more drama, a bit less comedy than K-On!
Okay. I think it could still work out.
Oh yeah, no. This is a very well enjoyed and beloved show by a lot of people. Basically, our main character, Kumiko, if you get...
Not surprising.
Yep. Kumiko Omai, if I pronounce that correctly. It's Kumiko is just much easier to remember, especially because of one of our patrons. She is entering high school for the first time after swearing off of music.
Okay.
Yeah, because there was a bit of an incident at her middle school, at her concert band competition, and it kind of left her feeling a bit unkindly towards performing music.
All right. So far, this has some parallels with some other musical anime we've covered.
This is true. And so when she moves to a high school that reportedly does not have that much of a concert scene, to get away from it and not have to think about it, because guess what? Everybody wants to get away from their middle school traumas. I'm still trying.
Yep.
It turns out that she ends up getting surrounded by a bunch of people who not only love music, but are trying to get her into into their concert band.
All right, so what I'm gathering here is Your Lie in April mixed with K-On!
Okay, that's a very fine and safe comparison, Remington. Normally. But from your mouth, that's like taking a dagger and slowly driving it into a wound that is partially healed over.
I slightly enjoyed one of those.
And thus the knife gets driven in even farther. And these new friends actually help her find the motivation she needs to make music again. So that's kind of just like our intro. All
right, okay.
The rest of the show is just kind of your cute little, almost sports anime-like, but more on the shoujo side of things, more on the shoujo-ai side of things, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Where they decide that they want to go for an actual competition. And they deal with their relationships as friends, as bandmates, their relationship with their new band teacher who has convinced them all that they should try for the competition even though they don't really have much of a chance, as most of the band are actually complete newbies and beginners.
Hey man, I'm a strong believer in just give it a shot. Even if you don't win, it's the experience.
Yep, and this whole show is literally about them growing as people, as characters, and as musicians, trying to work towards a common goal and hopefully, at least do somewhat well in the competitions ahead.
All right, I think it has potential.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Kyoto Animation affair, so automatically it's going to have a huge following.
Oh, of course.
And honestly, I think this is a really good, cute show with some nice, just a little bit of that Yuri baiting, just a little bit here and there.
Oh, of course.
Because, you need a little bit of that. And KyoAni loves their same-sex relationship baiting. That's one of the things that they just really enjoy.
Pull the trigger, cowards.
They do sometimes. Whether or not they do in this show, that remains to be seen, for you at least. But honestly, Rem, I feel like this will just be a nice little thing. It's a beautiful show, as all KyoAni productions are.
Oh, yeah. Expected.
The music is very good. The animation is stunning. And there's a lot of humanness in it. And hopefully, you will agree. Because if you don't, Rem, let's just say I've set out a minefield, all right? And I've given you a very clear path through the center of the minefield where there are no mines. And you can just walk straight ahead and you won't blow yourself up.
But I can't just follow your path, Sean. I must follow my own. I must follow my own truth. Follow the beat of my own drum, which it may actually not be a drum. It may just be all the mines going off. We'll see.
The thrumming of the booms in your head. Oh, goodness. But, by the way, Kumiko is a euphonium player, if that wasn't obvious.
All right, quick question. What is a euphonium?
It's kind of like a small tuba.
Okay.
Yeah.
Am I like a complete dunce for not knowing that? 'Cause I feel like...
No. It's a pretty... Like, unless you're in, like, the concert band scene, or you have a good knowledge of what instruments are, it's pretty understandable that
It's
you
a bit
wouldn't
more
know
niche.
that there's a small tuba in the world.
I mean, it's no oboe. Oboe, which, as we all know, is the superstar of instruments. To all of our oboe players out there, hell yeah.
Oh, God, that's a weird callback, but I'll accept it. You rock on with yourselves, oboe players, but this time we're going to be focusing on the Euphonium and her bandmates. So, with that being said, Remington, let's get started. Let's go watch some Hibike. We are back after consuming 5 whole episodes of the exciting 2015 anime Hibike Euphonium. And Remington, remember, I handed you an olive branch. I have presented with you the opportunity for peace among weebs. Because this is a very beloved show by a lot of people, so just remember, Rem, that month of torture that you went through, think of this as just the saving grace you need. So, Rem, let's hear it. What did you think of the show?
So I mentioned that the premise very much sounded like it was going to be a blend between K-On! And Your Lie in April. And I think that is very
comparison.
I think that's very, very accurate for like what this show is. If you really like those shows, I think you will very much like this show.
Rem, you do realize that still is a problem when it comes in the context.
Yeah, I'm aware it's still a little bit tenuous. I will happily say that I think that Sound Euphonium is better than either of them. It's better than the sum of its parts. And thus, I do like it. There is an asterisk in that many of the opinions I'm going to share on this episode are going to really frustrate people. So you get a bit of both. You get a bit of both. We're opening with the kindness. But people are going to be reaching for their pitchforks one way or another. Let me put it that way.
Hey, Rem, how does the water look?
I will say, it's a tiny bit weird, but it fits a lot better in this style.
Oh, dear.
It is for a similar reason, it is the tiniest bit weird, but much smaller weirdness than previous controversies. But we won't get into those anymore. For now, let's jump right in.
Until we get messages about them.
Let's jump right in to good old Euphonium, shall we? We start off, and there's like there was a middle school concert, and our protagonists, they have won dud gold. So they haven't placed, but they've done fairly well, basically. They're not qualifying, but they've done well. And one girl is just so goddamn upset over it. It's ruined her life, this 13-year-old. Then we cut to...
It doesn't take much. It's
true. We cut to our protagonist. Shit. What's her name?
Her name is
Kumiko. I've been trying to write down these names so I'm not as much of a savage, but I just didn't write down Kumiko's. So, Kumiko, she starts by looking in the mirror and being like, oh man, wish I had tits, which is not a great start to a show.
Rem, isn't that how you start your days?
Just every day
you
looking
wake up
in the mirror
morning,
and be
you
like,
look in the mirror
damn.
and you say to yourself, man, I wish I had some big bazongas.
If only. Sean, neither of our breasts are too impressive, unfortunately. Maybe one day. Maybe one day we'll grow into them. But
quite frankly, we're hydrodynamic. It's very unfortunate.
So, not a great start. But try to be optimistic. Then we continue with not a great start because she gets to class, right? And she's talking to herself, sort of narrating for us, the audience. And someone comes up to her and is like, oh, did you just say whatever the fuck she was talking about? And she's like, oh no, did I say that out loud? Which is a terrible trope and it's real dumb. So I'll say the beginning of the show, it's not even just like mediocre. The beginning is bad. It has
Oh man.
it has a bad introduction to what's going on. It's not ideal, but it's okay. It does get better. For example, we get introduced to Tuba-kun.
Yep.
It's one of the best characters, not an actual character. That'd be great. Instead, just a little accessory of a tuba mascot. Which a girl that we've been introduced to. I can't. Oh fuck! There's so many fucking names. Which one is it?
Would
Kato?
it be Midori?
What one? What'd you say? Not
Okay, so
Midori.
you've got-
because Midori is Sapphire. It's not that one.
Yep. So Hazuki.
Hazuki, sure, why not? That sounds right.
The tuba player.
Yeah, the one who ends up playing the tuba. Which, in this conversation,
Spoilers, Jesus.
she doesn't even
Jesus,
know what a
dude.
tuba is. Now, I understand if you're like, what's a euphonium? And she doesn't know that either, but hey, neither did I, so that's okay. Bitch, you have never heard of a tuba? What the fuck world do you live in? It's like, oh yes, tell me more about these drums, did you call them? How exotic. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
You don't understand, man. She's a woodwind aficionado. She prefers the oboe.
It was so weird. It was a very strange conversation. One thing I will say, Kyo Annie, as much as I love them, I'm learning that, how to put this nicely, they're very charming, but not very intelligent as a studio when it comes to like their writing and stuff.
Oh no.
Their characters
God.
are pleasant.
Uh-oh.
But all of them are a bit dumb. Like, even
God.
even unintentionally. There's not a lot of,
no,
like,
Ram.
highbrow intelligence
no.
or wit. You're not...
Oh.
There's one moment in the show that is genuinely clever. We'll get to that. But the rest of it, like, it'll be very rare to be like, oh, wow, how subversive or how interesting or intriguing or different. It's... What you see is what you get a lot of the time.
This just in. Remington thinks Kyo Annie is dumb.
But not like not a big oaf where it's all brutish and stuff, but like super charming and they're trying and you're like, all right, you're cute, but you're a little dumb.
You're calling Kyo Annie, one of the most popular anime studios, a fucking airhead.
Yeah.
A Genki girl
An
airhead.
adorable airhead. But as a studio, their dialogue and their writing is just a little bit dumb. Which is okay. It's not the worst thing in the world. They still put a lot of heart and soul into other areas. Heart and soul, but
gonna get so many
not a lot of
emails.
brain.
We're gonna
It's
get
okay. It's okay. I'll defend them
Man.
for it. It's okay. Not everything needs to be real cerebral. It's okay.
Just give them a lollipop and say, go play on the swings.
Just-
go play on
Just
the
put
swings.
a gold
It's fine.
sticker. Good job, Kyo Annie. Oh,
Gold
God.
star for effort.
So,
Oh god.
we also meet Midori. She is just small and cute is her thing. She's small and cute, but she plays a big old bass. So
Yep, contrabass.
contrabass. Yep. So then they decide to visit the band club, right? Concert band. And that is where we meet Asuka. Asuka, who they're like, oh my god, she's so pretty. And for some reason, that's like the go-to. Everyone's like, oh my god, so pretty. But as with most anime, it's a meaningless sentiment because they all look the same level of attractive. No one looks more attractive than anybody else. But that's fine.
God, I wish I was in a Kyo Annie production. Then maybe I would be beautiful.
If we were in a Kyo Annie production, then like no characters would be saying that we look amazing, but we would still look amazing as everybody else. It'd be wild. What's that like?
Like the bar would be so highly raised for us.
And so with Asuka, she's just a fucking weirdo. She starts like,
I love
here,
her.
have a
She's
piece
great.
of candy, and they grab the candy from her hand, and then her hand falls off, and she's like, fucking got him. And it was just a fake mannequin hand that she just had around, I guess. And she's like sort of a magician,
She's my favorite.
I guess. Like later on, she does the magician, like roses popping out of her sleeve for like no reason at all.
I mean, to be fair, Rem, to be fair, have you not also done weird magic things just
Oh,
because?
undeniably. I will say right now, Asuka is the most entertaining part of this whole show. It is always a fun time when she is on the screen. She's the Nico of this group. Like, just brings the wackiest fuck entertainment value almost to the point that she's in a different show entirely, and I love her for that.
And the best part is nobody outright hates her.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Everyone's just like, oh, she's so fucking pretty. And no one comments on the weird magic shit. No one comments on that. They're just like, wow, you're so pretty. You're so attractive. They're not like, hey, could you stop removing your mannequin hand and pranking them? No one's saying that. No one's like, stop making roses appear from your sleeve. No one comments on any of that.
Look, man, if a cute girl is going to do magical tricks, do you stop
No,
her?
but you would
Of course
like
fucking
address,
not.
you'd comment on it. You'd be like, that's neat or that's interesting. You wouldn't just be like, wow, you are attractive. Like, what are you doing? What the fuck is happening? It's so weird.
Look, man. You gotta think of it this way. What if everybody's in on it?
I would love that.
Everybody's just like, just don't address it. It'll be fine.
And then someone who shows up late to band is Kasaka, who is the upset friend from the very beginning, the one who was crying because they won dud gold instead of proper gold. She shows up. She's here at the school. Cool. So then we have our protagonist, remind me her name, Kumiko. So Kumiko shows up. She goes to a park, right? She's chilling at the park talking to herself. And then this other guy, he shows up. His name is Shuichi. And Shuichi, he has some of the most unnatural dialogue that it's just bad exposition. It's like, well, you know, we are childhood friends and we also attend the same school. And it's like the most stilted. It's just like,
Look,
Sean, as you know, here we are hosting the podcast Anime Out of Context that we do on a weekly basis. You are the one who loves the anime, which you are aware of, and I'm the one who tends to dislike it. As I was saying, it's like, that's just, it's so bad.
look. We don't come here for Shuichi. Like, he's there. It's fine.
I don't even know why he's there.
Look. We needed. There's a lot of cute girls doing cute things. We needed a little bit of male counterbalance. So we get Shuichi. But you can ignore him. Just focus on the cute girls doing. That's fine.
So she goes home and there's like awkward interactions with her mom. There's like tension there that isn't really explained yet. And there's a very like I'm gonna for a third fucking time ask you to repeat her name. That's how bad I am.
Kumiko. It's not like you've been saying the name
Kumiko.
for literally months now.
Oh God, I'm so bad.
Because the patron who really, really wanted us to do this anime.
Oh my
called
God,
Kumiko.
that's it! Holy shit!
Did you just now realize this? What the fuck, Remington? I think we even brought it up in the first half of the podcast.
I had no idea.
You goddamn dumb motherfucker. You're calling Kyoto Annie an airhead? Remington, I think you're the biggest airhead.
I didn't say I was better, all right? I said I would defend them because evidently, as it turns out, I am them. Oh, God.
God damn it, Remington, you are the Kyo Annie of podcasting. Congratulations.
Oh, God. If only I was this high
Except
quality.
for the wholesome part, which is unfortunate.
So Kumiko, there's a very unsettled shot. She doesn't know if she's going to be joining concert band or whatever, especially after seeing Kazaka. So they have a very unsettled shot of a bunch of Euphonium books in her room. It's not like they're like, oh, in the background, so you can piece together themselves. It's like, oh, here she is. Oh yeah, here's a 1 second shot of a bunch of these books because get it, guys, she's super into Euphonium. She's real serious about it. All right, and then we never see like the books or even like hardly her room anymore. There's no subtlety in this show. There's really not. It's like the Hibike Euphonium is like if you were served real nice fried chicken with some like gold leaf garnish on it. And it's like, it's lovely and it's very pleasant, but it's not as like highbrow as it may seem.
Merry Christmas. Here's your golden crusted chicken.
Then she decides that she does join, so she's gonna join. Cool. And we get a nice close. One thing I will say, with the music of this show, I do love me some like brass instrumentals, which play a heavy part in the soundtrack for the show, and I love it. I'm all in. There's not enough brass going on in like nearly any show, I would argue. Anytime I hear some of that brass, whoo, I'll simp me for a tuba. I don't know what compelled me. It's just that sentence emerged in my brain, and I loved it too much.
Oh, fucking hell, that caught me off guard.
Episode 2. Episode 2, they're in a bathroom. Kumiko and Kazaka are there. Kumiko is like, oh man, I just need to break this awkwardness with her. I just need to start a conversation, which she just utterly fails at. Evidently, like, it's awkward between them because Kumiko was like, well, yeah, we didn't really have a chance at like winning gold and going to nationals and like succeeding that much, but we're happy for what we did. And Kazaka took that real personally. I don't know. It's a real weird, it feels like not as big of a deal as it's presenting it as.
I mean, it's the important thing, Rem, is that it's a big deal to them. They want to be one of the best trumpeters ever. You know, they want to perform at the height. They believe they can get there, and their dream is to reach that height. So any kind of hiccup along the way can lead to emotional duress.
I guess I just don't know like what Kumiko did wrong by being like, our group isn't good enough. It's not saying that you're not good enough. It's just like, you're stuck with this group. Wah, wah.
It's more along the lines of a difference in values. Like, you don't value this the same way I value it, therefore there's going to be conflict.
But it's like, I don't understand why like an apology needs to be made and why it has to be so awkward.
I mean, it may not be necessary to most folks, but
like if you show up, Sean, and you're like, I want to be a stay-at-home dad. Like, I have different goals in my life, but I'm not going to be personally offended by your values there. It makes no fucking sense. It's just...
Well, I mean, when you're friends with someone back in the day and you think you're going in the same direction, and then suddenly their ideas
we don't even really get to see, like, that they were friends. Like, we know they were in band together, and I guess it's like, I suppose they were friends. But the only interaction we see is they happen to be sitting next to each other, and apparently this one interaction was enough to derail whatever friendship they had.
Well, also you have to consider the fact that the event in question that was so traumatic to one of them, and traumatic to the other, sure, but just not in the same way, having two very different reactions to the same event can cause a bit of friction between the people involved, is the idea that...
And I
can understand, I understand where you're coming from.
And I think I know what the show is trying to accomplish. I don't think it succeeds because it doesn't feel properly warranted. Like, it feels far more extreme than is justified within the realm of the show. So I see what it's trying to do. It just seems a little bit off.
Well, I did the best I could, folks. Your emails can be addressed directly to Remington, and not to me, because I did my best. I am a good boy.
So we get to another practice, right? People are joining. We get introduced to a few more characters who do different instruments, and like the president, Haruka. There's Goto on the tuba. There's Kaori on the trumpet. There's Aoli.
Oh man, my favorite anime character, Mayo. Mayo is my waifu. God damn it.
Right now, Kumiko is like, maybe I want to branch out and do something that isn't Euphonium. But then she's basically shoehorned into doing Euphonium anyway. Fuck you. You have no choice here. Free will doesn't exist. So then we're introduced to the sort of like the teacher, right? The teacher of concert band, Taki.
Yeah.
And Taki, Sean, did you ever play Life is Strange?
Of course.
As the moment I saw Taki, I getting very specific vibes. If you played Life is Strange, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't worry about it. It's not super important. Oh man, but what if Euphonium went this direction? That would be amazing. But it obviously won't.
That would be a very interesting choice, but I can tell you right now, Rem, it is not going that choice. Oh fucking hell, if it went that choice.
But Taki
this would
still
be a
has
very
those
different
vibes.
show.
Taki
Taki
is like, oh, super chill, young, attractive dude. We don't see a lot of him in this episode. As a little bit of foreshadowing, I hate Taki. I think he's a shitty character. He's possibly the worst thing about this show. So we'll address that later. Right now, he just sort of shows up and then he's like, all right, later, y'all. He just disappears. He's initially like, all right, let's figure out what do we want to do? Do we want to try to do nationals, or do we want to do we want to be chill about it? Which feels like a bit of a false dichotomy. And people are like, let's try to do nationals. Cool. All right. And then he's gone. Don't worry about it. Then we get another conversation in the park. It's not super important. That's episode 2 in a nutshell. Pretty straightforward. They join band, talk about band a little bit. We get introduced to even more characters. Good God, there's too many characters being introduced too quickly, but it's okay because the vast majority of them don't matter at all.
Okay, hold on.
Or at least up till now.
Key word there, Remington. Yet is the key word there, Remington. I don't want those emails.
So, episode 3 opens up. They're at practice. People are getting ready. People are working on stuff. But it's time to choose the instruments from the school's instruments. So, our main 3, which is Kumiko, Midori, and remind me the other one's name?
That would be Hazuki.
Hazuki. Those are all choosing it. And it should be noted, Hazuki is the only one without musical experience, right? She was a tennis player before. This adds an interesting dynamic. What it also does, though, mostly what it does, is it allows them to explain everything in excruciating detail to Hazuki in a very expository fashion, for the sake of the audience. It's, once again, not a very elegant solution for this, nor a subtle one, because it just leads to being like, hey, here's what we're doing. You know, this is what this is all about. All right, now you know, person who doesn't know anything. And there you go, right? That being said, this character also, while she may be responsible for an overwhelming amount of bad exposition, she's also responsible for the one genuinely clever moment in the entire show, right? Because they're choosing their instruments. It's obvious which ones they end up they're choosing. It doesn't really matter. Midori names hers George. Her contrabass, it's George.
Yep.
So all right, well, what is she gonna name hers? We got George over there. So she names her tuba Cabra, which is great. That's a really good one. They do immediately feel the need to explain the joke and be like, oh, you know, get it? Like chupacabra, which soils it a little bit, but I'll give it to them still. I'll give it to them.
In their defense, different culture. I can't imagine the chupacabra is a super popular cryptid in Japan. So, you know, it sucks that they explained it, but I can. But
I mean, that's why you have the little monster. They'd show a little chupacabra monster. Cool. But then they're like, yes, chupacabra. It's not great, but I'll still give it to them. It's the one genuinely clever moment they have in the entire show thus far, so I'll give it to them. So then there's weird drama going on with band. It's like, oh yeah, there aren't a lot of second year students going around. And one girl, it turns out she's just doesn't care a lot. But when I first saw her, I thought she was straight up depressed. Because she's hanging herself outside the window. It looks like she's just tragically distraught. Nah, she's just half sleeping.
Okay. Yeah, you gotta rephrase that a little bit there, man. It sounds like you just... You thought she was really sad, so she was hanging herself outside the window. Uh-oh. We're getting back into child murder, it seems.
She's in her desk and her head is out the window. She's laying down with her head outside the window. Yes. There we go. And it's just a little weird. It's implied
that's better. It's not exactly, a word picture.
Yeah. And so it's implied there's some weirdness going on with the second years. It's explained later in this episode, but the explanation is just, oh yeah, some of the kids who really liked band didn't get along with some other kids, so they left. And that's like the whole explanation, which feels a bit weird. I don't know. It was just a weird focus of most of episode 3. But you know, that's fine. It's a struggle because the concert band, there's just a lot of people who aren't practicing, and even the ones who are practicing are struggling. So, you have Taki, he shows up, and they're like, oh, are we going to be doing the Sunrise Festival? And he's like, I don't know. And they're like, what should we be like? What should we get ready? What songs should we practice? And he's like, I don't know. Maybe this one. All right, I'm gonna leave. Let me know when you guys are good. And then he fucks off. Getting worse. He just fucks off right out of there. He's like, oh yeah, once you guys are good, I'll come see what's up. That's not how any of this shit works, brother. He's just so bad. Also, one thing to note.
I mean, he's fostering, he's fostering, initiative. He wants the kids to, actually work towards their goals of their own accord,
No, here's the thing. I'm going to rant about him next episode. I'm going to tear him a new one. Because once again, we don't see him again in this episode. He shows up, he fucks off. So, like, a practice is canceled, and the whole vibe is just too many of the kids. Like, everyone's frustrated, but a lot of kids aren't putting in the effort or they don't care. Kazaka, she's playing her trumpet on a hill and then screams into the void. Between some blatant sponsorships by Yamaha, we do get to see, we do briefly get to see Taki, do something, because they decide to perform for him, right? They perform one thing for him, and he describes some of the kids as unbearable and says that they aren't even ready for instruction, they're so bad, which is not how that fucking works. Also,
no, it's
what
not.
the fuck?
No,
once again, this is only tip of the iceberg. It's episode 4 that I'm gonna rip him to shreds, but it's awful. Anyway, so Shuichi and Kumiko are chatting about Taki and being like, he's pretty fucking off, don't you think? He's a bit of a piece of shit. And then Kazaka shows up and is like, shut the fuck up, he's the single best teacher in the entire world ever at all. And I think she's fucking him. It's the only conclusion I can be led to.
Oh no.
That's the only conclusion, man.
Oh,
it's
no.
real weird.
Ram, this is supposed to be a wholesome music show with little flecks of drama for flavor. It's not supposed to be a fucking spicy domestic girlfriend affair.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Taki is making it pretty spicy and bad. So let's get to episode 4. Episode 4, they're talking about the Sunrise Festival, figuring out what to do. Professor Taki, he's been like, all right, I give you 1 week. If you guys are good by then I'll give a shit, and maybe we can do Sunrise Festival. If you guys are still this fucking bad, fuck y'all. And so they're discussing, like, hey, should we just, like, flip the bird to this asshole Taki, or should we kowtow to his demands? They decide to kowtow to his demands of like very simple demands of just like practice and get good, albeit without a teacher. And they're like, we can complain later. So they're like, hey, it would be better though if like you actually taught us. Like that would be really nice though. And so we get a montage of his unorthodox and unconventional teaching methods. He has them run laps, and they got to get a certain time, otherwise they have to run again, and then they have to play their instruments, and they have to do a bunch of miscellaneous stuff. They have to breathe while looking at the clouds and imagine they're blowing away the clouds, blah, blah, blah. Your standard, like, wow, it's...
Wax
yeah,
on,
it's
wax
like,
off.
oh, it's good teaching because it's weird. So So Sean, you know that I have a history of both like teaching. I've tutored all throughout my life, and then later on I would help like coach speech and debate for high school speech and debate for years. When it comes to teaching and coaching, those are subjects that are near and dear to my heart, Sean.
Yeah, same here. I also have a lot of teaching gigs, and this is kind of my weekly teaching gig where I'm trying to teach you something. But
and I'm all for unorthodox teaching methods. Lord knows, I don't think anybody will be surprised here. I use plenty of unorthodox teaching methods when I'm helping people out. But that does not, first of all, that doesn't mean you can completely ignore like basic practice and constructive and detailed feedback. You cannot just skip that step. That's not how that works at all. Also, why hasn't he been doing these drills and practices all along? Thus far, all the way up till now, which we're told is parent-teacher conferences. So I don't know how often they do parent-teacher conferences. Here in America, it tends to be like around whatever the middle of either like the trimester or the semester, right? That's where they tend to be for us.
yeah, about a month or 2 months in.
Yeah, so I'm going to assume it's pretty similar so you can give feedback, which means for at least 1 month, maybe longer than that, he's been doing jack shit, and only now when he's like, you have a week to prepare, does he do literally anything, and he could be doing this the whole fucking time up till now. And my only, like, my headcanon is he mentions that parent-teacher conferences are coming up, and he just realizes that if he starts talking to the parents, and the parents are like, hey, so my student says you haven't shown up. You've just not been there to teach them. That, like, it wouldn't look good. That's my headcanon for the reason he suddenly decided to do anything at all.
Well, you see, Remington, it's actually genius because what he's doing is his unorthodox teaching methods actually inspire confidence once they actually seem to work.
Let's talk about inspiring confidence, because as a coach, I've taken I coached speech and debate, right? And I've taken people who are terrified of public speaking, one of the most common fears. I get it. And I've gotten them to win multiple awards. It's happened many times for me. I know what the fuck I'm doing. You want to build,
and you're very humble about it too.
I mean, bitch, I've coached people that have won nationals. Like, I know what I'm doing.
I know you do, but I'm just
I don't need to be humble here. I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Humble relationship.
I need to establish that I know what the fuck I'm doing so that people know many things on this podcast. My criticism is just very like opinion based, right? Very wildly subjective and often filled with bullshit. We all know that. But this is one of the few things that is not bullshit. So I just need to reinforce that because Lord knows it's an exception on this podcast.
And I can confirm that his success in the debate field, I've known him long enough for that to be true.
Yeah. So you need to build them up and make sure that they feel confident in their abilities. Maybe they can recognize their flaws, recognize where they need growth, but they need to feel that progress is possible and that they can push forward. You want to give them goals. You want to make them feel passionate and excited. Meanwhile, Taki over here, this is a genuine thing that happens. He's talking to the flute players, and this girl is crying in front of him, and he's like, wow, you say you've been playing the flute for years, and this is what you can do? Seems like you've really wasted your time. What the fuck? What the fuck is this bullshit?
Remington, there's no crying in baseball.
Is there crying when you're being harassed by a teacher for your passion in a genuinely mean-spirited way? Like, they're trying to sort of present him as an asshole who gets results, but no, he is a bad person as well as a very bad teacher. In real life, this doesn't get results. This just makes people lose their passion. And for a few, it'll turn a few into little lovely robots who aren't doing it because it's fun, aren't growing from the experience, are just doing this for the shine of the trophy. Often their parents are also helping push them into it. They need that gratification, and that is what they put their entire self-esteem into, which you're just setting them up for, like, catastrophic issues later on. Instead, you should be focus first and foremost on building their skills as a person. All right. And you know what? You can set those goals. You can be like, yeah, we're going to get to nationals and I'm going to focus on making you guys better for it. All right. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you get to nationals if you've also traumatized your entire fucking team along the way. What the fuck?
I don't know, Rem. Don't you remember when we were in high school and our drama teacher just constantly berated us and telling us to act better and would abandon us to our whims?
Yeah, he just shows up. We perform a scene for him and he's like, oh God, that's awful. Get better, I guess. See you next week. Good times. You know, that really helped us improve our acting chops, let me tell you, Sean.
Yeah, improve as people and as human beings.
Really
we definitely
felt
did not
like we were gaining not only theatrical skills, but life skills. Felt like we were better people, more capable. Yeah, really accomplished those goals, you know?
Yeah, and I definitely did not grow as a human being because of all of his insights or anything. God forbid.
So then we get to the actual performance. Of course they do. Now everyone's amazing and people suddenly care, which in the story, like obviously this is the way it has to go. But once again, it doesn't feel warranted from what we've seen. Like all the people who didn't care before, we have one scene where Kumiko is just like, hey, girl sticking her head out the window asleep all the time who doesn't care. Try practicing. And the girl's like, wow, okay, I will. And like, that's all it fucking takes. That's all it takes. This whole time, Taki could have shown up, the goddamn teacher, and just been like, hey guys, all right, you need to focus. And they would have been like, holy shit, we do need to focus. And apparently that's all it fucking takes. It just feels so unwarranted and not great. But then even after the performance, he's like, all right, you know what? Let's do it. All right, we're going to be on a strict schedule. It's going to be hard, but this is our goal. We're going to do it. And they're like, oh man, this seems like a lot. And he's like, yeah, if you just, it'll be real easy if you just gather all the time you all waste being young. Which, what the fuck is that shit? What the fuck? I hate this man. I hate this man so much. Once again, they're trying to present it as like, oh, he's a hard, unorthodox teacher, but he gets the results. No, in real life, these would not get results. This teacher is an awful teacher. His methods are absolute shit, and he's a terrible human being. Everything about him is bad. And what the show was going for miserably fails with him.
Oh, God. The best part about this rant, Remington, is I agree with you 100%.
Oh, I'm so fucking
but
glad.
The fact that I didn't have to say it is so much nicer.
It's just, it hits too close to home in all the wrong ways, and it pisses me off. I had to deal with coaches like him. I had to coach students that were not my students, but like help them out because they weren't getting the proper assistance from their actual coach. Like, it's bullshit. I hate this motherfucker. Fuck you, Taki. Anyway, episode 5, final episode. Cool.
I mean, he gets better-ish, kind of.
I don't know. I haven't seen him get better at all.
In comparison.
Yeah. Episode 5 starts, the girls are doing their physicals. We get more weird breast stuff that they're like, oh man, I don't like being flat-chested. Oh man, Asuka has such great tits. She's so pretty. And that's it for that. It's a weird scene. They get outfits because for the Sunrise Festival, turns out they're going to be doing a marching band thing, which feels a little bit weird because they're not a marching band, they're a concert band.
No, but Rem, look, it's the same thing just with walking.
Definitely not the same thing. Definitely very far from the same thing. Both, don't get me wrong, both very talented, and there's obvious overlap. However, they are very distinct, the two of them. And sure, I can accept that maybe sometimes you have a concert band that is also a marching band. It just feels a little bit weird that they've had like 1 week of practice to be moderately good as a concert band, and all of a sudden now they have like 1 week prepared to become a marching band, which has its own like a ton of new shit added onto it that now they have to practice in addition to all of their songs, which they, as we've seen, are like barely competent at. It's weird. It's a weird one.
That's basically the same. It's
They're playing the same
blow into the
instruments.
thing,
You
it
can
makes
do
the
whatever
sound.
when you're playing an instrument. They can be tap dancing, no different.
No. It'd sound exactly the same.
So, we got the practice, right? After marching practice, Kumiko, she's walking home with, Kusaka, and they're on a little bit better terms now. But it's a weird walk home, and then they start talking about Taki. I don't even know, like, what they're going for. I don't know. It's weird. Kusaka gets weird about it again, and I don't know what they're going for there. Kusaka's fucking Taki. That's the only thing that makes sense with the vibe they're giving off. Nothing else makes sense. And I know, Sean, it's almost certainly not true, but nothing else matches the vibe they're going for, or at least giving off.
Well, Rem, I'm not one for spoilers, so unfortunately you're not going to get anything out of me.
Fair.
Because God forbid I ever spoil a Kyoto Anime show, because if I do, bad things happen. The only exception to that being like a pure moe slice of life show like K-On! I feel like nobody cares if there are spoilers there because there's not really anything to spoil. But when you got Hibike Euphonium, where it's actually got, story, plot lines, and a little bit of drama, I would be remiss to do so. Not because I don't care about spoiling things. I do. But I'm just more scared of the weebs.
Totally reasonable. I can understand that opinion. So, we finally get to the actual festival, right? Everyone's prepared. There's 2 other schools marching bands there that both seem a little bit more prestigious, right?
Like they actually practice for more than a week.
Yeah. Then we meet one of Kumiko's old friends, and they have a conversation that doesn't really go anywhere. Cool. And then we actually get to the march. And so, our protagonists, their school is the second school to go, right? So you have the first one, they go, and it's like, wow, they're so fucking impressive. They're so good. And then it's time for our school right here. And they start. And my favorite part of this is that there's a reaction shot from the crowd. They decided to go with a surprised reaction shot where the people are like, what's this? What is arriving? Like, they've just seen one marching band, but it's as if, like, they were told, oh yes, there shall only be one marching band today. There shall never be any other in the world. And that, like, everyone forgot even what the first marching band was. So as soon as the next one starts, they're like, what could this possibly be? A marching band? What are the odds? Like, they're just so astonished. And that brought me joy for how dumb it was.
We're gonna get emails.
So the episode ends with March, or more fairly, this episode actually, right before the credits, we get a life-size Tuba-kun waving us away. So that was the last that I saw of the show, just Tuba-kun waving goodbye. And that's how I wanted it to end. That's my ideal ending for this show. Tuba-kun.
Oh, no.
All right, so I talked a lot. I understand. I had a lot of criticisms.
You think?
I do want to reiterate.
This is 90% criticism.
I enjoyed this show. The characters, while not like super deep by any means, were deeper than, for example, a silent voice, which is nice.
Oh. God. You had. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Go listen to that episode to get angry at us, Sweeps. But they were, so they weren't perfect, but they were better than that, and they were good enough. Asuka, obviously the best character, just super entertaining and fun. Every time she's on the screen, she brings amazing energy to it. Plot-wise, I think it's a little bit meh. You're not really here for the plot, or at least you shouldn't be, because it's not very well structured by any means. Visually, gotta talk about the visuals briefly. Absolutely stunning. Stylistically, they know exactly what they're going for. They nail it. The decisions, like, in the intros and outros, it's so beautiful. They do this, like, rainbow hand-drawn lettering for some of the bits, and I loved that visual style. Just gorgeous on all fronts, and amazing, fantastic animation details, which should be expected with Kyoto Ani. Just the animation, top fucking notch.
Yeah, I mean, they're one of the most popular studios for a reason.
To put it nice and simply, it has so much heart and soul. Not a lot of brain, but that's okay. It's still an enjoyable show.
Oh, God, Rem, what have you done?
Probably pissed off all the week.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, don't get me wrong, Rem. I agree with you on a lot of fronts. And it's not me you have to worry about. So happy birthday, Rem.
Happy birthday to me.
I hope this qualifies as a pseudo present, because after all, your real present is still in the mail. So yeah,
it's the best thing I've seen in a while, Sean. At least on this show. So
yeah, and hopefully, we may come back to it someday. Maybe we'll finish the first season because actually, Rem, it is rumored that a third season is in the works. So
seems reasonable. I mean, depends on how, obviously, I have not even seen the full one season. But
yep.
This show, I understand it getting more seasons more than the vast majority of what you tell me gets more seasons.
Okay. Then before we bounce out of here, I just have to ask, by chance, what do you think this is rated on Mal?
I think Kyoto Annie, so already people are gonna adore it. Cute girls doing cute things. I think people will overlook most of my criticisms. They'll be like, oh, Taki is such a hottie. And they'll be fucking weird about that. I think, you know what? I think it's like an 8.5 on Mal. I'm gonna go all in. Going nice and high.
8.5. Well, Remington, surprisingly, with about 135,000 reviews, which is a bit lower than I would have expected. Hibike Euphonium, the first season, is ranked currently at 8.01.
That is lower than I would expect.
Where would you put it?
Well, I mean, I would just tend to put things lower generally. But I'd put it at probably once again, where 5 is totally neutral, probably 6.5, maybe a 7.
Wow, a whole 7. That's something else for people to get angry
for me, that's quite good. That's quite good.
I know it's quite good, but do they?
Y'all been ruined by Mal, where if it's below 7, it's one of the worst shows to ever exist on this earth. If it's between 7 and 8, it's average. Y'all are insane. You're all out of your mind.
Take a statistics class, folks. It helps. And then with that being said, Remington, would you like to, I got my tongue. Ow. Probably because I said it weird. Let me try that one more time. And with that being said, Remington, I have one final question to ask you. Would you like to go back and watch some more Hibike Euphonium with me sometime?
You know what, Sean? I would, with the hopes that I get to see more Asuka and less Taki.
With that, thank you all so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Before we get out of here, just got a little bit of house cleaning to do. If you would like to support the show, then please do us a huge, massive favor and leave a review on whatever platform you listen on. Whether that be Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, or word of mouth is a great way for us to grow as well. And if you'd like to support us even more directly, including gaining access to all kinds of lovely bonus content, as well as having the opportunity for Remington to horribly mispronounce your name, then you can head on over to patreon.com/animeoutofcontext. So, Remington, who are the lovely people that we're thanking this week?
As always, we would like to send our thanks to our bland bitch protagonists as well as our magical girls. But moving on up, we reach to the yandere waifus who are sending the Tubacabra over to feast upon us. And on that list, we have the Cheese Monkey, Sarah Birch, Kazumurako. I forgot to change my username. According to all known laws of aviation, there's no way a bee should be able to fly. Its wings are too small. Juliana, Salty Pretzel, Glenn Michael Dolan, Jacob Livingston. We don't have time to laugh at these ones, Sean. We gotta keep going. H. Wood. Farmer, how about some Silver Spoon Weeb? Alexander Nasiensenyo, Remhub, Andrew Rowicki. I have the absolutely most astoundingly, astonishingly voluptuous 5-head in all existence. Matthew B., Devin McCutcheon, Sage Schiffner, Reverse Kismo, I make the rules now, buddy. Sean Onichan Daisuki, Ready to be Isekai'd. Kenneth Reed, Remington Merrill. I'm Remington Chase, and as always, fuck your sister from Australia. Apostle of the Church of Remington, Snap Snips, Ichigo 015 Simp. Why do you revisit trash shows more often than good shows? Old Man Rom, Joshua Valls. Remington is not a man of culture, Foxin' Boy. The Booty Knight, Andrew Sinclair, Jax, Dark Swarm 713, Yuno Gasai, Kitty, John Menenga, Ariel Bird. Thank absolutely every single one of you. The list always grows. Good God, there's so many. We appreciate it. Good God. I can never believe how many there actually are.
Yeah, no kidding. I'd stop laughing if you'd stop being
There's
funny.
a lot of good ones in there. But moving on up, we go across the pond. We're getting to Hogwarts. We're hitting the boy wizard tier. And this week, in Euphonium, there's a lot of Yuri baiting that they don't actually capitalize on him. Just a lot of implied possible love. So in that tradition, we're going for implied possible impossible love with Harry Potter. We're going with Harry Potter ships. That's right, boys and girls.
Okay. Here
Everyone's
we go.
going home. Every boy wizard tier is going home with their own Harry Potter ship. So we have
God, I can't wait for people to get the bad
Spicy
ones.
Log Horizon is one of the best written isekai. Use the BS rule hot take. You get Draco and Hermione, or Dramine.
Ooh.
It would not be a healthy relationship.
God, you started bad.
Delina Perez, you are getting Remus and Sirius, which apparently is called Wolfstar.
That's bad.
Yeah. Miguel DeLeon, you get Draco and Harry. What could go wrong?
I mean, everybody loves, a hate fuck, so.
Pilkster, the Symphogear Advocate, you get Luna and Neville, also known as Nuna. This is the first one.
That's an okay
This is the
one.
first one I
That's
think
not a
that
great one, but
can
it's
work.
okay.
It's also, I've not heard that one before, so I think that one can work. We have, congratulations, Rare, I'm gonna simp Hibike Euphonium until it's reviewed Kumiko. You finally got all of your dreams.
And I just want to reiterate, it's not just because of you. You can feel special, but it's not
You
just
should
because
feel
of
special.
you.
Especially
Yes.
you are getting that great combo of Fred and Hermione from Hermione.
What?
Apparently, it is a pretty popular ship.
That's gonna be a little hard.
Yeah, Sean and I, if you couldn't tell,
Considering.
aren't into the fan fiction and shipping communities that much, at all.
It depends.
Sean
It
much more
depends.
than I am, and by much more, I mean he's at least dipped a toe into it at times.
I've had a taste. Let's just. I can tell if your ship is trash.
We have Killer Queen Requiem. Killer Queen, you are getting Luna and Ginny, also known as Linny. Our first lesbian ship that we've listed. Enrique Perez Torres. You know what? You're getting the ship that transcends fan fiction. You're getting Harry and Hermione.
The forbidden ship.
Yeah.
The logical ship.
MT the Poet, you get Lucius and Snape, also known as Snoocious. Fucking Snoocious.
Supercalifragilistic, of course.
Losing my goddamn mind, brother. Snoocious.
Again, that's another one that's gonna be a bit tricky, all things considered.
Tevin Poole. Tevin, you are going to get, Snape and Lily. Getting spicy on that one. Dedicated...
Yep, and destined for failure.
Truly. Dedicated Sadist, you get... You want some sadistic shit? Bellatrix and Voldemort. Or Bellamort.
Ew.
Don't think about it.
Ew.
Finally, Frack Me,
Ew.
Mr. Peanut Butter.
I'm thinking about Snake Dick. Ew.
Frack Me, Mr. Peanut Butter. You get the greatest ship of all, the grand ol' Harry Potter orgy. Just as many characters as you can shove in there until you can't tell them apart anymore. That's what you get.
It sounds sticky and magical.
Moving on up to our highest tier, going to the White House, prestigious, regal, the Chef and Musco Corey in the house tier. And you know what? Everyone's gonna get some famous piece of music. Maybe it'll be an entire production. Maybe it'll just be a smaller portion. Whatever. You're getting a famous piece of music. So, Ross Palmer, you are going to get... You know what? You're gonna get some Mozart, Eine kleine Nacht music, good old night music. Could have chosen Mozart's famed song about licking his ass, but I'm above that, Ross. You're above that. So we're not doing that one. We have Amoto Aiga Uwu Waluigi for life. Oh whoa. You are going to get. Oh, you know what? You're getting Claire de Lune by Debussy. One of my personal favorites.
Wow.
As Waluigi deserves. Harshly judges Rem for disliking coffee. Well, you should actually harshly judge me for enjoying Vivaldi's Four Seasons. We've all heard it, even if you don't know it by its name. You've definitely heard at least some of it.
Isn't that where they had that Republican press conference?
Yes, we all, our favorite music, Vivaldi's Four Seasons Landscaping Company. He was ahead of his time with that one. It makes so much more sense now. We're gonna do Almighty Sinner. You're getting Ride of the Valkyries. Good old Wagner. You get some Wagner. Ride of the Valkyries. Real exciting shit right there. Zachary Shirley has a football team made out of golden retriever puppies. It's not in the rule book. That I can't. Oh, you know what? You got a good one. You're getting The Planets by Holst. My recommendation to anyone, if you've not heard it, go check out the different planets. Each one super interesting, super unique, super cool. I love it.
It's very good.
Then we have Touchy Diplomat, all lowercase, of course. Touchy Diplomat, you are going to get... I just had it on the tip of my tongue. All right, you're not getting that one anymore. You know what? You're gonna get Symphony No. 5 by Beethoven himself. You may not know the full symphony, but I can guarantee you know like 5 notes from it. Everyone can at least list 5 notes from Beethoven's Symphony No. 5. Then we have Silicon Spectre. Silicon Spectre, you are going to get... Oh my god, there's just so many. Oh, you know what? You're going to get... fuck, it's French. Gymnopédie. By Satie. It's a lovely piece. Do check it out. I butchered his name just like I butcher all of yours. Last but not least, we have uppercase Touchy Diplomat remembers the school days he spent alone. And as you remember those school days, you can go turn on your jukebox, your classical music jukebox, and turn on Swan Lake by Tchaikovsky, and that one's all yours.
You gave yourself an easy one at the end there, just because you horribly screwed up the French.
Yes. So, you're welcome. Go listen to all of those songs. And if you'd like to contact us directly, whether it's for a comment, question, feedback, or recommendation, you can either tweet us at AnimeConPod or send an email over onto animeoutofcontext@gmail.com.
Once again, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, don't fuck your sister.